Good evening, everyone. This is Natalia. Welcome to session 9 of mobile application testing. How are you guys doing? All right. Seems like everybody is here. And thank you, leaders, for fixing the table with the, doing your research and everything. It looks good. Everything is backed up. So as for the latest bugs, team leaders, please do not close anything because we don't have enough data. And for people who are not aware what is the gray column is, just in the field, it means where you have to stop. I'm just giving you in blocks what to do, and please do it. Help us to close some bugs because I do not see too many entries. It's probably because you have due on Monday. Also, we have some enthusiastic people that are doing much more than I ask, and I really appreciate it. Invisible Boris, are you here for Android? Boris? No, not here. All right. So because he was really good. I mean, he probably, Boris is cool. Yes, absolutely. I saw it and I was really impressed, with his ability. So, okay, as I promised you to check a couple of the entries that you guys have for the bullet points. And let's see. Oops, I'm sorry. Hold on, guys. It's not really here, not yet. It's in this one. And project summary bullet points. Oh boy, the last time I just checked like maybe 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. There was only one from Dmitry Alexandrov and по делу и не только. So this report was here first, then Dmitry Alexandrov, are you here? And по делу и не только. Are you here? Dmitry, here, okay. And this one? Okay, search. No, Dmitry was here first. So what about this one? По делу и не только. Are you here? Because we're going to discuss. You've posted first. Okay, Dmitry, let's see what you have about the application. And we're going to stay a little bit longer today. I just want to make sure that you guys get my feedback. Social networking mobile application allows users to add music, stickers, and a feature. Okay. From the very beginning, like in a resume, we do not use I, you, we, okay? We're just doing it in a neutral gender. Lamotive is a social networking mobile application that allows users to add music, let's just put it music, video, and photos, and create the short clips, and then distribute it via social networking. It's gonna be better. Do not put Lamotive name into the your description, because if you nail down the certain project, everybody else is gonna have the same. You're gonna look like twins, triplets, quadruplets, or whatever, octos. So just do it natural, okay? Social networking, multimedia, it's better even to put like a native application, okay? Because they're gonna be asking you what kind of application it is. Okay, no versions need. What we can do in the description of the project, you can add that it is designed or developed for Android and iOS. Okay, so in a bullet points, we usually put just the brief and clear description. Performed interruption test, okay, and what is it? Functionality testing. Just do it neutral. Why I am suggesting this? Because it gives you a room to talk about what you did. And like, you know, the interview sessions and time is always limited. So you're going to have about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to talk to the person. So if you put too much information into your resume, you wouldn't have anything to elaborate about. Okay, so just fill up your time. Is this clear? So what is that? I would suggest to put like a functionality, interruption, compatibility, device fragmentation. I mean, do it natural, okay? So it's not bad. And hopefully, Dmitry, are you here? Can you hear me? And everybody else. Oh, Sergey, по делу и не только. Okay, I'm gonna get to yours. Okay. Oh, nice. Love it. Okay, this is what you're gonna talk about in the interview. Music video editor. Okay, since May. I wouldn't put like the dates, okay? Give you a little bit more flexible dates, so do not do it. With the help of this app, you can make music videos, clips, okay? For Instagram and other social networks, you can share music. Okay, all right. Okay, make an instant music video montage, crop, add filters, animated stickers. Very good. Okay, but this is what you're going to talk about on the interview. Okay. Target audience, not just teenager. No, it's a wide variety of the target audience. Exactly, Paulina. Okay, my first steps were to answer the following questions. What should I test? Website, web application, standalone application. What do I have for testing? Spec requirements, environment, OS, bug tracking, okay, who is the project manager, how can I contact him, what are the terms of the project, what the deadline for the release. Okay, what should I test? It's a native application that you would be testing on iOS and Android, okay. It shares other native applications, okay, like your gallery, because remember, it asks the permission to access your gallery. Okay, bug tracking, which environment should I test? Well, you are testing in a real world environment because you are downloading this app from the Google Play. Okay, we do not have the internal distribution for this application, and you can say that you're a beta tester. Okay, because the beta testers, they usually, you know, sometimes download the app too. Project manager, I'm your project manager. Okay, terms of the project for the duration of the study and beyond if you want to. How am I testing? At the beginning, study description. Okay, user guide, get the main functions. Okay, also you can add, instead of, you can say, there is a release notes for every build. Okay, Alexander? And everybody else. When you get to the Google Play or App Store, and when you're looking for the version number, it says, okay, the release notes, what's new. And this is where you know what bugs have been fixed okay, what's new, what functionalities are added. Okay, it's possible to listen our project talks about app, okay, for promotional video, absolutely. Also, okay, I download the app from the mentioned resource, installed it on my device without a consumer. The whole process of installation was done correctly and didn't need any additional soft or hardware to it. Started from the positive testing, meaning English to continue testing if you find serious bugs of this level testing. Also used such as security issues. Well, we're going to be covering security testing today. You can definitely add it. Negative testing to make sure the app reacts on that unexpected behavior properly and can handle such approach of using app. Together with provided test cases, I also used mine ones that I have written before I start testing. I also use Bugzilla, bug tracking, to report some bugs I have already found. Very good. On the next step, I launch the app, switch myself to the typical functional black box testing. Okay, sign up, settings. Well, first of all, probably estimate homepage, where it's supposed to start. Well, you can just say I modularized, okay? I selected each component that should be tested, or I divided the page into the components or modules and started testing, okay? And we're going to be covering it too. So, summary, I can sum up that the whole process of installation, this app was done correctly, didn't need any additional software hardware to it. You also uninstalled, okay, a few times. You can put it in there, installation and uninstallation, and we're going to be covering the test cases, more of the test cases. So this is very good for just describing the project at the interview, but for your resume it's not going to work. Why? Because in your resume you cannot put everything that you mentioned. So the bullet points, the most important, so that you tested this application against the test suite, okay, and that was provided. You also created and executed your own test cases. Compatibility testing, also important. So, and, okay, good. Everything else, just what I want you to do is to go to that document and get like 10 bullet points. The most important, rephrase it, because I can see you can do that, okay? Resume is just your bullet points. This one is good for your interview, very nicely. Good, okay. It's 6:13. I am going to, okay, let me see by time. So 4:35, okay, because you, okay, 5:58, 5:28. Alexander comes off. Okay. Okay, during a test people would test. Okay, user edit their own photo, videos. It's not only own photos, because you know, there's plenty of the media that is already downloaded to the Lamotive when you install it. And do not put in a group of 5 people, because it kind of does not look good. Carried out functional security, usability, recoverability, overall performance testing summary. Okay. So in your resume, you put in the past tense, okay? Validated, all required fields are working as required. Working according the spec, okay? Validated user stop and start application working as per requirement. I don't like this one. Because this one is the part of the stress testing. Okay, that's why you can just perform stress testing. We receive, well, validate app is working well when we receive any SMS or call. How do we call it? It's interruption tests. Okay, validate allows users share their project via social network. Okay, validated. Scrolling down all pages, just remove number 5. Validated user can get error messages if, for example, his device does not connect to the internet. Okay, we call it error handling. Okay, validated the proper error handling. Okay, validated does have clear instruction for user who is not familiar with app. It's usually manual, okay, that we call validated. For user who, I don't even know if it should be there, because unless you are yourself writing the manuals, it should not be there. So you can say that you tested application according to the user manual, or you operated the most common functionalities according the newly written manual. Okay, so you kind of validated if the manual is written correctly, so it's good. Current network coverage is able to support application at peak average minimal user levels. Network connectivity, maybe all you need. Responding in time as per requirements. Intuitiveness of the application. Battery consumption, memory leaks, resources carried well within required guidelines. Okay, battery consumption is very important. Okay, memory leaks belong to the security tests. GPS and camera performance, you can just yeah, you can, because you were, if you mention camera, okay, for the playback, means that it's multimedia, so that your native, that the application is working well with your native media player. Okay. This one, remove validate application still working if user change network from 2G to 3G. Well, first of all, they're gonna ask you, you know, how did you do it, and then you're gonna be, you know, dumbfounded. You don't know how to do it, because unless you're using a special tools for that, then you can put it. Okay, so because we already mentioned in here number 8, network connectivity, remove number 11. Oh, did you just, you know, copy and paste the whole thing? User protected from network attack. You cannot do that. Okay, again, this is a security testing. Same 13, 14, 15, user can choose a thumbnail. Okay, just remove it. And because we already mentioned the multimedia, the gallery, you know, so it's by default, you see the thumbnails in there, and you click on it, remove 15. Page, all icons lead you, just remove it. Keyboard input. Okay, just no, just remove all this. This one we already mentioned, the interruption test, 22 interruption test. User can recover its error handling. We also, you know, cover that. Shut it, battery dies. It's a error handling also. And this is interruption test. install, uninstall. Well, here you can put application installation and installation and upgrade. Just remove this one. Battery low, you already mentioned the battery, because in here, before it dies, you go to battery low. So I would remove 12 to 29, 11, everything which is connected to the security testing. Okay, kiddos, let's just go back to the lecture. We checked 3 today. I promise that the next session I'm gonna check a couple of more, and I'm going to give my feedback. Okay, is it the deal? And I'm gonna go by the time you upload it. So it's kind of a first come from first served. All right, guys. So last time what we were doing, we were going through some tests excuse me, that are mostly used in the industry. And first of all, guys, I want you to always remember, when you start talking about the application, you have to tell the interviewer what kind of application you were testing. So it could be native, hybrid, or web. And it doesn't matter, I'm not even talking about my particular session, okay, and mobile application testing. So mobile, web, or hybrid, then you absolutely have to mention what environment you were testing. It's iOS or Android, okay? And then just when people are going to be asking you, okay, what tests did you perform? First of all, installation, uninstallation, upgrade. Then you mention interruption test. Interruption test is one of the biggest tests for mobile application testing industry. If you do not mention this test, then you're pretty much out, okay? So, and let's just go and like I mentioned before, that we're not only performing one test at a time, we're also performing a few tests, and it's just the matter of on which test you are concentrating more. So usability testing is used to test the mobile applications in terms of usability, flexibility, and friendliness. So the testing process makes sure that the mobile app is now easy to use and offers a suitable user experience. So basically, the usability testing process of the mobile application is performed to have a quick and easy step application with less functionality than a slow and difficult application with many features. So the main objective is to ensure that we end up having an easy to use, intuitive, and similar to industry accepted interfaces which are widely used. So in this, I am going to give you a few examples of what do you have to test. So basically, ensure that the buttons should be required size and be suitable to big fingers and everything that you have on your screen. Also, in addition to what you have on your screen, I want to add that we need to ensure that the text is kept simple and clear to be visible to users. Simple and clear. The other day, I had a student in my class, and we were testing some, Russian-made application. So, and one of the students is showing me the screen, and I see two bugs at the same time. So I'm taking his phone and showing it to all Russian-speaking people, and also the English-speaking people, just, to see if they can spot these huge gooey bugs. None of these people were able to spot these bugs. Okay, the funny thing is that the application was developed in Russia. Of course, it's some ABC, you know, simple. So, and the problem was that when you get to a certain screen, you know, the application wants you either to pay for the application to continue, okay, or cancel it. Okay, so one and the most bizarre thing was, first was two buttons. One was okay, and the second was cancel, but in Russian, which is отменить, okay? So the first button was okay, the second one is cancel, but in Russian language, отменить. So what do you see in here? What is the problem? Who can tell me? Inconsistency in what? You should use only one language. Okay. What else? No, text wasn't too small, but it was a problem. What else? Because I cannot, you know, unfortunately, language size of what? Angelica. Out of bottom text. Okay, what is it, Natalia? Size of words? No, the size of words or size of letters, Natalia. Who said size of letters? Anastasia. Yes, size of letters. Okay. No. Okay, I'm going to explain to you. So, unfortunately, I do not have a screenshot. I should have done it. First of all, if we use OK, we always put both capitals, OK, okay? Second, they use two languages, okay? And it looked really weird. Third, I cannot show it to you, but the letter O was in bold, okay? It was a capital letter and in bold. K was in the lowercase. So, but nobody could even notice that problem, and I was really disappointed. So, let's just continue. You guys, I'm not sure if it's necessary to translate OK to Russian. Well, I would, Artyom, I would accept this if OK was put together in a proper way, meaning OK in a capital letters, you know. They put O in a capital, K in a lowercase, plus O was a bold letter. So that was pretty bad. So let's just continue with the usability test. We need to be sure that the font size is big enough to be readable and not too big or too small. Also, we're looking for that the application prompts the user, whether the user starts downloading a large amount of data, which may not be conducive for the application performance. So then we validate that the closing of the application is performed from different states and verify if it reopens in a different state. Then we ensure that application items are always synchronized according to the user's actions. So you just have to be sure that all these features are implemented and also they serve the purpose. Also, guys, what makes you professional in mobile application testing is zooming in and out, okay? because only professional people, when they test their application, they turn it to like a landscape mode, zoom it, okay, turn it to portrait mode, zoom it in, zoom it out, and you can save yourself a huge amount of work if when you just installed the application, you opened it, and then you just, if there is an option, Alexei, okay, you can zoom it, zoom in using your hardware keys. You know, some applications, they are supporting this option. And when we go to, especially to the accessibility tests, you will understand. So what makes you a professional when you receive your application, and if you absolutely know that your application is supporting the landscape mode, this is what you have to do to save yourself trouble later, because I have known people who could put a huge amount of testing and at the end they say, oh, okay, let me just turn it to the landscape mode. Okay, it works in the landscape mode, but when you zoom in and put it in landscape mode, then it is a problem. You zoom in into the portrait, you turn to the landscape, and this is where the problem can start. So absolutely have to test it. Please promise me to do that. Now, installation test, okay? One can think that it is easy. Yeah, installation is probably from the technical part of view, the installation is probably the easiest one. Upgrade is the most difficult one, and also removing the application is uninstalling it is the hard one. So let's just talk about it, that we're gonna talk a little bit more so you can take notes. So compatibility, it's important for installation, because smartphones continue to increase their processing power. So every year, devices and operating system will release like several versions. So, and you as a tester have to make sure that the application can run well for most users, and devices which can be pretty much time consuming. So how we do it, usually the analytics team, they analyze the market, they select the devices, and pretty much when we were talking about the Android, Lollipop is Kit Kat, Lollipop, Marshmallow, and Nougat for selected devices. This is gonna be your kind of audience for these devices. For Apple devices, there is a wide variety, but they are all accounted on. Then the installation on both internal memory and SD card for Android should be checked. And if available, check what happens if you change, for example, the default installation path. Uninstallation should be also tested. Then upgrading is very important and needs to be tested, as new versions of your own software and underlying OS will change frequently. All data should not be corrupted or incomplete or inaccurate or change after upgrade. So if the user cancels the upgrade, the old version should still work well, even if the upgrade was canceled midstream. So what I want you to do also with the Lomotive, I want you to uninstall it, okay, and start installation again, and just cut it off, okay, cancel it, and see what's gonna happen to your device. So interrupt during the installation, interruptions such as some incoming call, notification, or SMS will come in. This is gonna be your homework also. You can you can do it by Monday. You guys have plenty of time because I gave you plenty of time from Monday to Monday. So I'm gonna add a couple more tasks, okay, after session 9, and this is what you're gonna do. So basically, you're gonna be uninstalling Lemotive, installing it, then you're gonna cancel installation in the midst of the installation, see how your device is gonna work. I'm gonna add a table. And also the interrupt test during the installation, I wanna see how your system would behave when you receive the phone call or SMS message. Got it? Okay. So the junk files, the installation may generate lots of junk files. So when done on installation, the deletion of these junk files also needed to be checked. So basically, you have to make sure that test device is stable. And this is the steps how you can do it. You know, after installation, uninstallation, upgrade. I do not have any upgrade versions for the Lemotive to check how it is upgrading, but it's okay. You know, we can just go and test it with whatever we can. All right, guys, next we have security testing. So we are getting really deep into the, testing process. And people who put security testing into your resume, be really, really careful. It's usually done by special dedicated to testing security team. And you can get really in trouble when you start talking about the security and you don't know what you're talking about. It requires the knowledge of the tools, security tools that is used in the industry. But, I also created a few checkpoints that we're going to be discussing a little bit later, what you guys can do from the tester's side of you. It's like testing the login page, the password, just the regular, activities that the users are checking, and which could lead them to trouble. I'll give you a little bit later. I'm going to give you this checklist. I have the slides, so you're going to have it. So the fundamental objective of the security testing is to ensure that the application's data and networking security requirements are met as per guidance. So the following that I'm going to give you are the most crucial areas for checking the security of the mobile applications. And this is pretty much what we're going to be talking about the data flow, data storage, leakage, authentication, server-side controls, and points of entry. What we're going to be checking, what we're going to be talking about. We need to, and how we as a testers can check on our side, and what is security teams are doing on their side. This is important to know. So basically, security testing, them or you, if you're in the industry, you're going to be validating that the application is able to withstand any brute force attack, which is an automated process of trial and error used to guess a person's, for example, username or password or credit card number. Then we need to validate whether an application is not permitting an attacker to access sensitive content or functionality without proper authentication. To prevent from SQL injection related attacks, also we need to check if any cryptography code is broken and ensure that it's repaired. We need to analyze file system interactions, determine any vulnerability, and correct these problems, by submitting the test reports, and much, much more. So but like I said, I'm gonna give you your points of entry that you have to test. So in the industry, you can see that we are using the functional tests and the non-functional, and what is the difference is, before actually going to the differences, let me just describe what functional tests is versus non-functional, and define each of them. So basically, functional testing involves the testing of the application against the business requirement, and the goal of functional testing is to verify that the application is behaving the way it was designed to. Functional testing ensures that your software is ready for the release and like for the public, and it also verifies that all specified requirements have been incorporated. Non-functional testing, it's about the concern, it's pretty much about the business requirements. So non-functional testing is designed to figure out if your product will provide a good user experience. For example, non-functional tests are used to determine how fast the product responds to request or how long it takes to do the action. And examples like for the non-functional testing is pretty much in front of you. It's load and performance testing, compatibility, localization, security, reliability, stress testing, and usability testing, and also the compliance. So, but what is the functional testing? Unit testing is not your testing, but it should be also here. With the smoke and sanity testing, we're going to be, pretty much discussing it very soon. Integration testing is not your testing, okay? Interface usability system testing is pretty much not. I told you there are 3 types of testing that you guys are not that you're not performing. It's a unit testing, okay, integration and system testing. One of our, hiring managers, he said he doesn't want you to, to tell that you did this. Module testing is your testing. Regression testing, alpha and beta, and users acceptance, white box and black box. Okay. Ergonomics testing, what is ergonomics? Ergonomics, it's when all the buttons and all application functionality is fit to your, body. So you just make sure that the buttons are in the right direction, that the buttons are pretty much showing what you guys used to be. So it's the right arrow should be, turning you to the right, left arrow to the left, it's just ergonomics that fits your body. Absolutely. So, and this is basically what we are having here in the industry about the functional and non-functional testing. Compatibility, and it's again, like a device fragmentation, if you can see. And I should probably tell you that there are 2 types of compatibility testing. There is a device compatibility and application compatibility. So because Android is an open source project, so any hardware manufacturer can build a device that runs the Android operating system. So yet a device is Android compatible only if it can correctly run apps written for the Android execution environment. So, and the consider the application compatibility is for each specific device configuration, because Android runs on a wide range of the device configurations, so some features are not available on all devices. Like for example, some devices may not include a compass sensor, and if your application core functionality requires the use of the compass sensor, then your application compatibility is only bonded with the devices that have this compass sensor. So also we have a different browsers. We have a different screen sizes and resolutions. And the screen sizes, it's basically generalized to 4 categories, like a small, normal, large, and extra large. And OS versions, we were talking about the different versions of OS, Lollipop and Marshmallow and Nougat. And again, hardware capable of interrupt handling without getting hanged. You see, it's again, the compatibility testing also include the interrupt testing. Multilingual support compatibility tests include the localization, okay? Also, we saw this in the in functionality testing. Remember when we were going through that slide and I was pointing out that, oh yeah, this is, multiple tests, and a different time zone support as well. So this is pretty cool, definitions of the compatibility test. But, also guys, make some notes, because put it in your resume. It's pretty much, useful information about these compatibility tests. So then, guys, I consider this as the most honorable tests that any QA can perform. Compatibility accessibility test, we call it screen readers. I know that lots of people, they are not aware that people with the different challenges, the industry requires the developers, requires the companies to make sure that these people can use and enjoy the technology. And that's why the third-party applications make possible for these people to reach the technology and use it and enjoy it. So basically, we are talking about 82% of people with some challenges, physical challenges. They are still using the mobile devices, which is, pretty good number. Well, if you can see on the left, I am listing the kind of challenges people are facing and how we can help them. So a person who is blind, they can use a screen reader or talking browser, and they can navigate it with the voice commands. Okay. Person who is having trouble seeing can magnify, and I'm not talking zooming in like 1-2 times. We're talking about the really specially designed zoom for people with such challenges. People who is deaf or hard of hearing, they're using pretty much captions, okay, and we call it subtitles, or into the movies, okay. People with dexterity limitation, or also it's people who are missing limbs, especially hands. They can navigate the device using the text command, using the voice commands. Also, people, they want to make sure that people who are having the ADHD or dyslexia can use and understand the complex tasks. So, but of course, we are pretty much facing the challenges in testing of those for those third party. Because we need to test it on mobile, and it's zooming, the applications, and sometimes we need to extend and enhance the color ratios. We need to make sure that the readability of the site is is approachable, is seeing, people can see it well. And of course, the navigation, especially when you're using the voice command to navigate. So what I want you to do right now, we are pretty much going into the depth of the security testing, and I want you to answer at least one of the questions. What do you consider to be the biggest security issues with mobile phones? Okay, how seriously are consumers and companies taking these threats? It's just, just take a wide guess. And what do you think could be done about these threats? Let's just wait a little bit. Phishing, okay, firewalls, data leakage, malware, data encryption, all right. Privacy, yeah, invasion of privacy, okay, spyware, okay. Okay, you guys are doing well, and let me talk about what I have control of the execution, financial transaction. Absolutely, Dimitri. This is our biggest concern about the financial transactions. Okay, let's just talk about it. So, viruses, worms, trojans, and bots are all part of the class of the software called malware. So malware, or malicious code, is short for malicious software. So there are many different classes of malware that have varying ways of infecting systems and propagating themselves. So malware can infect systems by injecting other programs or attached as micro to files. Others are installed by exploiting a known vulnerability in an operation system, network device, or other software, such as, for example, a hole in a browser that only requires users to visit a website to inject their computers. The vast majority, however, is installed by some action from a user. So sometimes you guys, responsible for, installing that malicious software when you're just clicking an email attachment or downloading a file from the internet. So basically, let's discuss what there are 5 categories: phishing, spyware, worms, trojans, and the man in the middle attack. And what is phishing? Phishing is a form of fraud in which the attacker tries to learn information such as login credentials or account information by masquerading as a reputable entity or person in email or IM or other communication channels. An example is like, typically a victim receives a message that appears to have been sent by a known contact organization. An attachment or links in the message may install malware on the user's device or direct them to a malicious website set up to trick them into divulging personal and financial information, like such as passwords, account IDs, or credit card details. So phishing is a homophone of phishing, okay, which involves using lures or catch a fish. What is a spyware? And a spyware is something like, for example, of the gray area, and there is really no copybook definition of it. So, as its name suggests, however, spyware is generally loosely defined as software that is designed to gather data from a computer or other device and forward it to the third party without the consent or knowledge of the users. So this often includes collection, of course, of a confidential data such as a password, pins, and credit card numbers, monitoring the keyword strokes, tracking browsing habits, or harvesting email addresses. So the next one is the worms. And computer worms are similar to viruses in that they replicate functional copies of themselves and can cause the same type of damage. So in contrast to viruses, which require the spreading of an infected host file, worms are standalone software and do not require a host program or human help to propagate. So to spread, worms either exploit a vulnerability on the target system or use some kind of a social engineering to trick users into executing them. Then we have the Trojans. And pretty much, you know, if people, you remember it from Windows times, it's for ages right now. What is Trojan? A Trojan is another type of the malware named after the wooden horse the Greeks used to infiltrate Troy, as you remember. It is a harmful piece of a software that looks legitimate, and users are typically tricked into loading and executing it on their system. So what happens after it's executed? It can achieve any number of attacks on a host, from popping up windows, like changing desktops if you're working on PC, to damaging the host, like deleting files, stealing data, or activating and spreading other malware such as viruses. Trojans are also known to create backdoors to give malicious users access to the system. So it's a pretty bad one. And last but not least, man-in-the-middle attack. And what is the man-in-the-middle attack? Is a type of cyber attack where a malicious actor inserts him or herself into a conversation between two parties, impersonates both parties, and gains access to information that the two parties were trying to send to each other. Sounds like a White House, huh? A man-in-the-middle attack allows a malicious actor to intercept, send, and receive data meant for someone else and not meant to be sent at all, without either outside party knowing until it's too late. So man-in-the-middle attacks can be abbreviated in many ways. And so if you hear, like, for example, MITM or MITM with a capital and lowercase letter, or meme, or with a capital and lowercase, or just in a capital meme. So basically, how do we define it? Key concepts of the man-in-the-middle attack is a type of eavesdropping attack that occurs when a malicious actor inserts himself as a relay or proxy in a communication session between people or system. So man-in-the-middle attacks allow attackers to intercept, send, and receive data never meant to be for them without either outside party knowing until it's too late. So this one is pretty bad one. So can we put sniffers on a spyware category? Absolutely. Yes, sniffers is a spyware, of course. And it depends, you know. Sniffers can be good, you know, like, for example, the network sniffers. When I was working, we were testing the sniffer tool, and that was the name of the tool, sniffer. So you could use it. It was a very, very good tool used to analyze networks, so it was good. But yeah, you can you can absolutely put it in a spyware category, because if I used it, for example, to sniff somebody else's, like the network that people didn't know, of course, I would use it as a spyware. Absolutely. So, mobile code security stack, okay, and it could be broken in 4 distinct layers, and we go from the bottom, because, well, as you know, when we're talking about the hardware and software, we always go from the bottom up, not from, well, because we're on kind of on the professional side. So we go from the infrastructure layer, and the infrastructure layer is the lowest and thus most supportive layer of the mobile code security stack. So this layer is the foundation that supports all of the other tiers of the mobile. The majority of the functional components at this layer are owned and operated by a mobile carrier or infrastructure provider. However, integration into the handset occurs as data is transmitted from this tier upward. So as we move up the stack to the second tier, it's a hardware layer. We are moving into the realm of a physical unit that is typically under the direct control of the end user. The hardware layer is identified by the individual end user premise equipment, generally in the form of the smartphone or tablet-style mobile device. The hardware layer is accessible to the operating system, allowing for direct control of the physical components of the unit. The third tier in the mobile code security stack is the operating system layer. This layer corresponds to the software running on the device that allows communication between the hardware and the application tiers. The operating system is periodically updated with feature enhancement, patches, and security fixes, which may or may not coincide with patches made to the firmware by the physical handset manufacturer. Then we go to the application layer, and application tier resides at the top of the mobile security stack and is the layer that end user directly interfaces with. So this one is I'm showing you how the security stack is working. So mobile device risks at every layer, we can easily identify it, like for the network and the hardware and OS and the application. So with the network, what kind of problems we can face? So interception of data over the air, because mobile Wi-Fi has all the same problems as laptops. GSM has some cracks, of course. Hardware, for example, a baseband layer attack. OS, it defects in kernel code or vendor supplied system code, and we remember that the kernels, it's a communication components between the hardware and the software. And of course the application can have the vulnerabilities, and malicious code have access to your data and device centers. And then we are just, after, all these bad things that I was telling you about, you think, so who is controlling it? What is there any organization who is responsible for security of the applications? Yes, absolutely. It is called OWASP, Open Web Application Security Project. It's an online community that they create freely available articles, methodologies, documentation tools, and different technologies in the field of web application security. So how did they do it? You know, they started in 2003 by compiling. They would analyze data, all those security threats, vulnerabilities, all these nasty things people were facing, and they would come up with a OWASP top 10. What is top 10? So basically, they create the guidance, okay, that everybody else should follow. They identify the threats, and they are working with the companies like Mitre and PCI DSS. It's probably, let me just explain to you a little bit closer what Mitre is. Mitre Corporation, it's not-for-profit company that operates multiple federally funded research and development centers. So what they do, they provide innovative and practical solutions for some of the nation's most critical challenges in defense and intelligence, aviation, civil system, homeland security, judiciary, healthcare, and cyber security, which is, you know, which we belong to. Then what is PCI DSS? Because this, you know, it's all standards that we are using. You know, if you think the application just being developed, no, and then just sent to the market, no. We all require a certain standards for our applications, no matter what they do. So let's just discuss real quick what PCI DSS. So it's a payment card industry data security standard. Is a proprietary information security standard for organizations that handle branded credit cards from the major card schemes, including Visa and MasterCard, American Express, Discover, and etc. Then we have the Defense Information System Agency, also known as the Defense Communication Agency until 1991. It is a United States Department of Defense combat support agency composed of military, federal civilians, and contractors. And it provides information technology and communication support to the President, Vice President, Secretary of Defense, the military services, and etc. And of course, Federal Trade Commission, it's an independent agency of the United States government. They were established in 1914. So OWASP, believe it or not, it's a hugely respected organization that is running all this guidance and regulations regarding the security of the network, the applications, and so on. Thank you so much for being with me tonight. I will see you guys on Monday. Have a nice weekend.